Hey everyone, welcome to this session by Intellipaat. I hope you guys had a beautiful day. And my name is Anirudh, and in this session, we're going to check out how we can get you guys to become a web developer. So, on that note, let us quickly check out the agenda, guys. We'll begin by checking out the introduction to web development. Secondly, we'll check out all the responsibilities of a web developer. Third, we'll check out why you need to consider web development. Number four, I'll give you a very good step by step guide on your way to become a web development engineer or so. And then next we're going to check out how you can become a web development how you can go about checking a job description of a web development professional. And sixth, I'll help you on some further learning concepts as well. So on that note, guys, I want to make sure that you guys are all subscribed to our Intellipaat's YouTube channel, and make sure to hit that bell icon so that you never miss an update from Intellipaat, because at the end of the day we are putting out a lot of content out for you guys, and a lot of subject matter experts, software architects, and a lot of people are working really hard to bring the best content out to you guys. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell icon. And without further ado, let's begin the session. So the first thing on our agenda is introduction to web development. Well, you might have this question right now. What is web development, or what does a web developer actually do, right? Well, I can give you one very simple, very Spartan answer to that question. Well, a web developer is just a person, or web developers are just people who build and maintain websites, guys. So the keyword that you need to use, you need to check out here is build and maintain, because at the end of the day there'll be the workforce behind building an entire website, and the part where they'll be maintaining the entire website as well. So to put it all in one sentence, to term it together, they literally are the people, they create how you actually experience the internet. So by internet, it is pretty much as simple as a website. Websites these days are not simple as we might know it, because probably 10 years ago, or say 12 years ago, the internet was a very friendlier place. It was a very simple to use place, and now there is so much more to the internet that it really doesn't feel simple anymore for a couple of people. But hey, yeah, all the big companies, all the Fortune 500s, or let's take anyone, even a startup, all these guys are striving to bring you amazing user experience, amazing user interfaces, and they're making sure that you enjoy your time on a website and not just look at something plain and probably that would bore you. So I had this question for all of you viewers right now. So, what is the most beautiful looking website that you have seen? So I want you guys to head to the comment section and let us know which is the most beautiful looking website that you have seen. Well, there's so many things that comes into my mind. Well, think about the development of how probably Facebook started out, and then how good, how amazing it looks right now, how user friendly it is. Probably check out Instagram, Twitter, for example, and not just social media websites, anything else for that matter as well. Something which began as a very simple thing, and now it's so complicated as in it's sophisticated in such a good way that it gives us information in the most simple way possible. And all of this is possible only because of the hard work of good web developers in the companies, guys. And then at this point of time, what should you know? Well, you need to know that there are three web development specialties, guys. One is the front end development, second is the back end development, and third is the full stack development. Well, you might have heard of these terms, or you might not have. Well, let me give you a quick short introduction to all three, so you find out what is actually going on in between all of these terms: front end development, back end development, and full stack development as well. So what does a front end developer do? Guys, as you can probably think of it, literally front end and back end. Front end is something that you would probably see, back end is something that you would not see, is the most simple way I would put it. Well, in literal terms, front end refers to the things on a website that you see, that you interact with, and so much more. Think about all the menus that you can check out on a website, all the drop downs, or let's say the user experience. How beautiful a mobile website looks like. Let's say you're browsing for the latest mobile, and there are so many companies out there who who have amazing websites to sell their mobile products. So you're scrolling on that and you see this amazing transition between each of these concepts and so much more. So all this is basically because of very good front end development. So again, to recap, front end actually refers to all the things on the website that you actually interact with, that you actually see and you work with at the end of the day. So this brings us to backend development. Again, backend is still the three-part series of the web development specialty, but then backend is it's a different beast, I would like to say, because backend is like, think of it as the inside of a clock. So I'm pretty sure most of us wear wristwatches, right? So as soon as we look at it, we see the time on the wristwatch. But do you see all the mechanism that goes behind it, all the tiny, tens of gears that pretty much go about showing you the time? Well, sure, maybe some watches you can see that, but in 99% of the watches, I don't think you can see all that functionality. You cannot see the battery and so many things else, right? So the backend is something like that. Think of it as the inside of a clock, and without it, the website cannot function. Because if you have a clock which doesn't run, if you have a watch which doesn't run, it doesn't make sense. So it needs to power itself somehow. So the front end of a website is actually powered by the backend development, guys. So the backend basically deals with all of the servers, all of the web development applications, all the databases, data storage, data warehousing, and so many other concepts, which is basically used and brought to the table by the front-end developers, and they go about talking a lot, guys, the front-end developers and the back-end developers, because this is something which goes hand in hand to create a complete website. And this brings us to the full stack development. So do all front-end developers and back-end developers just talk directly and help each other with their work and bring about a website? Well, you might think of it like, yeah, that might be the case in a lot of startups, in a lot of small companies, but then there are really big companies and there are really big IT firms in this particular decade, we know that, and these guys hire full stack developers directly. So a full stack developer is basically, a person who knows both front-end development and he knows, he or she knows a good amount of back-end development as well. So this is like bridging the gap between the front-end development and the back-end development of a particular web development and website creation scenario, guys. So what do you think about these terms? Front-end development, back-end development, and full-stack development. If you have had any experience regarding these terms, or if you'd like to share anything about this, please head to the comment section. Let's keep it very interactive. I always love talking to you guys, and then pretty much helping you guys through there. And I love seeing your comments as well, guys. So go for it. So now that brings us to the next thing out here, which is the responsibilities of a web developer. So what are the responsibilities if you have to make a good website? Well, the first the biggest responsibility that I can go about thinking is to make sure that you know how to create these websites. Well, that is pretty vague if you're talking about it in a technical term. So to break it down into, to delve deeper into the IT world, you will actually begin writing, a web developer will actually begin writing websites with a combination of markup languages. Markup languages basically, HTML, CSS. There are so many languages which you can learn and use to basically write websites. So this is one of the responsibilities. The other I'm sorry about that. So the other good responsibility is that basically this person needs to have the ability, the web developer needs to have the ability to create very good prototypes, very good mock-ups of what an actual website would look like. Because at the end of it, you're a web developer who, develops really good websites, but then cannot showcase it, cannot pitch it to a client, then you might as well, lose that client or lose that job as well. So if you're good at something, and if a web developer is good at what he says or what she says, then they need to ensure that they can create very good prototypes and create quality mockups as well, guys. So this brings us to the next thing. A responsibility of a web developer also includes building a WordPress site from scratch. I'm sure you guys have heard of WordPress. It is an open source free platform basically, and it's so much more than that actually. But to keep it to the simpleton sense of this particular video, think of it as a blogging channel, for example, or a channel which is a foundation to go about setting up other websites on and working based off on that, guys. So building a website completely from scratch by making use of WordPress is basically one of the very good responsibilities of a web developer as well. And then we have something called a CMS. CMS is basically, content management system. So again, at this point of time, you might not know what content management system is, and WordPress is actually a CMS tool that we use. So again, HTML, we have HTML, we have CSS, we have JavaScript, and so much more to go about. Working with as in when you become a web developer. So at this point of time, I want you guys to know that understanding HTML and CMS is one of the responsibilities of a web developer as well. And then this brings us to the next thing, because understanding user interfaces, user experiences are another very big responsibility of a web developer, because with respect to user interface is pretty much your day in day out tasks on a website, how you like to go about interacting with it, and the user experience part of it is a different story as well. I mean, sure, it's linked to user interfaces, but then it gives you this some websites, when you think about it, makes you feel very homely, right? It might be social media websites, it might be news websites, and so much more. It sort of feels like it's tailor made to you, so it's giving you that user experience there. So making sure that you can reach out to your audience with the correct user interface, with the correct user experience, is a very good thing to have for a web developer, guys. And then next, it's pretty much having the ability to develop websites which are very functional in nature, as in they provide you with lots of options, lots of things someone can do and not be bored on the website, and create appealing websites at the same time. So even if you have lots of things to do but it doesn't look beautiful, it really wouldn't not a lot of users would actually prefer something like that. To bridge these both worlds, where it's functional on one side and it's very appealing to look at on the other side, is another good responsibility of a web developer. Then after providing a website, it is very important for the next step, which is basically to provide maintenance and support. Because at the end of the day, if you're very good at creating a website and you just finished it, but you do not provide any maintenance and any support towards it, then the person who might come after you to take over the website work, or let's say there needs to be further work done, but then you have not documented the work, it would become extremely difficult, because again, at the end of the day, for your client or anyone, for example, even for you, if you're trying to revamp it later, so having very good documentation, providing amazing maintenance and really good support is liked by the world. It would be I'm pretty sure it would be liked by your client, and so much more. So this should, pretty much pop this question into your head. So why should you become a web developer? So guys, I'll take a quick 20-second recess here. I just need a glass of water. So I just want you guys to think about why you should become a web developer. So head to the comment section and give me 20 seconds. I'll be back really quick. So hey guys, I'm back. So could you figure out any good reason, or I mean, there are millions of reasons of why you should become a web developer. But then if you could pick out any, and where the niche of where you should head towards becoming a web developer, then that's amazing, guys. So basically, the most important thing that you need to know about this particular web development scenario today is that it is an industry which is here to stay. What do we mean here to stay? Well, websites were not, there were not a lot of websites like 20 years ago, but then look at the millions of websites we have today, and there cannot be one single thought which is going to stop this particular, exponential growth of content, exponential growth of websites being launched every single day, thousands of websites being launched every single day, and this is not going to stop, because there is no reason to stop. The world is being, catered to with very good websites, and this industry is pretty much on a rise. And fun fact is that the US Bureau of Labor Statistics pretty much predicted that over 13% growth in web development jobs will occur from now till 2028 and beyond that as well. So pretty much that is when you can think about it, that is like let's say almost 10 years from now, that there is a 13% growth guaranteed there. Well, you might think that 13% is a small amount, but then we're talking about millions and billions of websites out here. So when you think about 13% over 1,000 or over a million, it is actually a very big number. And you will not just be one developer at this one company among millions in these 13%, if you could figure that out. Well, a company will be hiring for more than one, and there'll be many companies, thousands of companies over these years, and it is 10 years is a really long time. So this is one of the reasons why you should consider becoming a good web developer, guys. And then we already know that it is one of the most one among the best, or I would say most as well, trending technologies for our next year as well, because 2020 is fast approaching. Less than a month, it's holiday season already at a couple of places. And again, so coming back to this, it is one of the very good trending technologies. So if you have a very good certification, if you have web development on your resume, and if you can sell yourself to an interviewer at a very big company, let's say in the first 2 or 3 days, then you can land a very good job with a very good salary. So make sure you stick for a while, so I can tell you the salary as well. And again, guys, as I've promised, my last section is pretty much to get you on a fast track pace to become a web developer. So stick till the end of the video, where I provide you a coupon code just for the viewers of this particular video, guys. So make sure you stick till the end to make full use of our coupon code, of our particular coupon, so where you can pretty much use to get a very good discount out of our courses as well. So that brings us to our next reason of why you should become a web developer. Think about this. There are a lot of cities in the world where just the traffic is unbearable, or there are millions of people across the world, when you look at LinkedIn or any other formal social media platforms, where they prefer to work from their home. Well, as a web developer, you have every right, you have pretty much all the tools you would need at your home to actually start out and work from your home or anywhere in the world. Let's say you want to get up, go get a coffee at your coffee shop, and just use their Wi-Fi and to begin your work. Well, yes, you can do that. You do not have to punch into work and do this as well. Fun fact is that there are many Fortune 500 companies here in India and the USA who suggest that working from home for a web developer role is actually very good. So that brings us to the next thing, where it's pretty much it gives you all of this ability to work independently as well, because at the end of the day, it is your content, it is your website, and you will have to own it, right? So not many people might like working under bosses, or let's say 99% of the time that's not the case. I'm not trying to put the wrong idea into your head, but when you think about it, it would be amazing to work independent, and knowing that you are the driving force of a company. That is very good as well. So you will have the ability to work independently too. And then this brings us to the next thing, which is basically to helps you fast track into the world of startups and tech industry. We know the amount of startups which are being opened. We know how big the tech industry is, how big the IT world is today. So to exploit it fully, a web development role, when there is a requirement for a web development role, if you have a good certification, you can just run right into a very good startup or into a giant as well. So this is one of the very good reasons you should become a web developer, because fast tracking into the world of startups and the tech industry at the same time, where the choice is left to you, is again a very good thing. And this pretty much brings us to the finale of why you should become a web developer, because you can build awesome stuff when you think about it, right? So think of all the creative, there are millions of people, and imagine the brainchild of these millions of people. So basically everyone can come together, or you can work independently pretty much, and you can put out amazing websites. And that's how the world is actually going right now as we speak. So until from pretty much the start of this video till now, there were thousands of websites which just went live and which got launched. And they're not just any plain or boring content as well. I am sure most of it will be interesting to millions of viewers, and at the end of the day, I'll have to say that it'll pretty much be awesome as well, right? So you can get on the awesome trend train right now, and you can pretty much build really good stuff for you, for your employer, and for the rest of the world as well. So what is the step-by-step guide to help you guys becoming a web developer? Well, I'm going to give you a couple of steps. So if you want to bring out a pen and paper and note this down, that would help you guys a lot. So step one is to pretty much go about learning, markup languages. We have HTML, we have CSS, and we have JavaScript. So basically HTML, if you guys did not know what it stands for, it's basically hypertext markup language. And then for CSS, it's called cascading style sheets, and JS basically means JavaScript, guys. So what are HTML, CSS, and JavaScript doing to a website? Well, the HTML basically dictates a foundation. It dictates a structure to the website, and then CSS actually uses all of these structures and makes the building. Let's say we're building a building, right? So we're constructing a building would be a better sentence. So we're constructing a building, and all the pillars, all the foundation, all the concrete work is done by HTML. But then putting the glass panels outside, putting very nice interior decorations, all of this is done by our CSS. And then JavaScript pretty much brings all of these together and brings the structure and aesthetics together to make everything function, make everything work. So if your building looks beautiful on the inside, it looks beautiful on the outside, but it doesn't work, it doesn't make sense, right? So you need to have switches, light switches, air conditioning, and so much more. As soon as you turn it on, it should work, right? So this is what a JavaScript would do to your website. It would pretty much bring functionality to the aesthetics and the underlying structure as well, guys. So step 2 is again, after learning HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, you need to go about learning the basics of WordPress as well. As I've been mentioning, that WordPress is again a very important entity in the world of web development. And here's a fun fact for you guys. If you did not know, 58% of all of the websites are actually powered by WordPress. And WordPress is free, it is open source, and everyone can get their hands on it to begin learning, guys. So quickly moving on to step 3 is again learning about how you can go about providing very good user interface, very good user experience, and development overall is another very important step. And I want to put this as step number 3, because again, having a structured way of learning will again help you pretty much throughout your career in web development, guys. So understanding the fundamentals of user experience design will basically, at the end of the day, help you create a very good looking website. So without user experience, can we say that the website is bad? Well, no. But then if you have the user experience, if you provide the user experience, provide a very good user interface, there is a very good chance and more people will like it, and your website will become a very good hit. And that brings us to step 4. Step 4 is to pretty much go about learning SQL, and learning PHP as well. So what is SQL and PHP? Well, SQL is basically a database technology which is used to store the data. So let me bring this down to the most simple terms I know. Let's consider SQL to be a database where, we're just dumping in and storing a lot of data. But then we need our website to talk to this data and use it, right? So PHP is it is a scripting language that does exactly that. So it pulls all of our data from a database which is basically stored using SQL, and then it starts pulling all the data and bringing it to the website, where at the end of the day, you as a user can interact with the front end, where the front end is using PHP to talk to the back end, which is using SQL to store all of these data, guys. And I hope that was very clear to you guys. And on that note, it brings us to step 5, because step 5 is where you'll be learning the basics of SEO as well. SEO is one of the most important things, and for the people who do not know what SEO means, it is search engine optimization, guys. This will basically put your website on all of the good search engines. We have Google, we have Yahoo, we have Bing, and we have so much more. And then making sure that people actually see your content, because not every time someone just enters the website URL and goes there, right? So they come to Google and they find the website interesting, and then they come to that. So getting your website to Google, getting into what we call as ranking on Google is basically what SEO is all about. So how is that done? Well, it is basically done through making use of very good HTML tags, and because these tags and a lot of other concepts are extremely important, making sure you use good title tags, well thought of heading tags, meta tags, and all of these other tagging concepts that you will actually learn pretty much when you go about starting your structured learning procedure. All of this is very much necessary, very much required to get a good SEO part, because at the end of the day, if people can find your website through a search engine, then you've done it good enough. So After all of this, what would a sample job description look like? Because we know the responsibilities, we know how to become a web developer right now, right? So what does a job description look like? Well, this is for the role of a web developer by Apple. Well, Apple say that you would need you would need a BA in computer science, computer engineering, or any related field. They say that you need understanding in HTML5, CSS3, JavaScript, again as we've discussed in step 1. And then they require a couple of JavaScript frameworks and client side management as well. Let's say these are all JavaScript frameworks, and you will learn more about this in our upcoming videos as well. And they require you to have very strong experiences when you're working with REST APIs. You will actually go about building reusable components, and you will be building front-end libraries to make use of sometime in the future as well. You will be developing secure web applications, and you will have the knowledge of the application which is being developed as well. So 99% of the job description matches with whatever our step-by-step guide says. So to pretty much take it to one more step, to take it a step ahead, let's say I have another job description from Spotify is probably the world's best music streaming service right now, and these guys say that you need pretty much experience with JavaScript concepts, where you need coding, testing, debugging, and automation techniques using JavaScript. They need experience in backend development, backend technologies, with the use of Java or Python as well. You need to be comfortable working in an agile environment, and you need to be comfortable at challenging yourself at work as well. And then you are adaptable, you're intuitive, you're able to develop effective solutions to Spotify's problems as well. And then you care about all the user experience. Again, user experience is the keyword here. You care about the user experience, and you know how to build very user friendly web applications as well, because at the end of the day, a good user experience is what the users actually want. And then this also requires that you have some experience with concepts such as continuous delivery and doing some sort of automated testing as well. Well, at this point of time, I'd like to tell you guys, if you do not know any most of these terms or any of these terms on the screen, do not be overwhelmed. Stick till the end of the video, and my fast track path to getting you guys to be a certified web developer will pretty much take you through all of these at once as well. So this should bring us to the most awaited thing of the web development world. What is the average salary of a web developer? Well, to keep it simple to this particular video, I have divided in terms of the salaries and the jobs in the United States versus the salaries in the subcontinent of India as well. So a front-end developer will get around $80,000 in the USA, and about 5 lakhs per annum as a fresher in India. And as a back-end developer, you would get about $90,000 in the United States with a very good job, and about 6 lakhs per annum in India as well. This brings us to the the salary of a full-stack developer, and a full-stack developer pretty much crosses the 100,000 mark, and he or she gets a salary of $110,000, and this translates to 9 lakhs per annum. And guys, these are just average numbers which are taken from the lower threshold to the upper threshold. And then you might be wondering, well, if I have to put so much effort to get a salary which I am not happy with or not expecting, well, do not be taken aback, because at the end of the day, that 5 lakh per annum what you see can become 15 lakhs, 20 lakhs, and 25 lakhs, because good companies are willing to pay a lot for a person who has the right skills, who has the right certification, and at the end of the day, that is what they need. So people are willing to shell more money to get the right people, and my job is to pretty much get you to be the right people that these companies are looking for, guys. So this brings us to the final thoughts that I have, and the final thoughts that I would like to convey to you guys. Well, think about this particular quote which I read. It says that building a website is easy, but designing a website takes a lot of skills. This was by a person called as Paul Serivens, and pretty much I was taken aback actually when I read this quote, because it is really amazing. And you can pretty much go about designing an amazing website, building a very good website, and you should jump on this train, because this is one of the most trending jobs present in the world today, guys. So this brings us to our next section, which which is what you can think about, going about with any sort of further learning on the same. Again, I always champion this particular quote in all of my videos: an investment in knowledge always pays the best interest. This was by Benjamin Franklin, and every time I go about reading this quote, it becomes ever so powerful then. So for you guys to consider for further learning, you can pretty much check out all the videos we have on our YouTube channel. And in case you're not much of a video person, we have an amazing blog channel, a community set up as well, where you can come interact with all of our subject matter experts, pretty much read very good blogs put out by software architects and a lot of other people. And we have people from all the ages, all the communities, and throughout the world. We have learners from age let's say 10 all the way till 70 and 75, and all of us come together to in this wonderful community where we talk about a lot of stuff as well, guys. So if you're a video person, you can check out our YouTube channel, and if you're much of a reader, then we have the blog channel and the Intellipaat community as well for you guys. So in case if you guys are looking for a good certification program and to help you become a master in website development, Intellipaat provides the PHP, MySQL, HTML and jQuery training. So this is basically Intellipaat's website development masters program, where you will gain proficiency and you will become a master in all of these top tools. At the same time, you will be working in real world projects. You'll be building very sophisticated web applications, PHP functions, data types, web interference, client-side applications, client-side scripting, server-side client concepts, and so much more. Here's some of the key features for you guys. You will have over 63 hours of self-paced videos and 126 hours of lab and projects as well. Think about this. You will learn the concepts for 60 hours and you'll go about implementing it for over almost 130 hours. And then you have lifetime access to all of the courses. You have 24/7 support to these courses, and you can get it scheduled whenever you want. And then pretty much this will get you a very good certificate, which is pretty much accepted by majority of the MNCs out there, and we provide good job assistance as well, guys. So you can pretty much head to the Intellipaat's website to know in detail about what we do here. But to quickly run you through, you will pretty much have a quick introduction to PHP. You'll check out PHP, functions, hoops, concepts, MVC architecture, cake PHP, and so much more. And then coming to MySQL, you will be starting all the way from introduction of MySQLs all the way till transactions, imports, exports, and so many more, guys. So if you choose to click on any one of these, you will pretty much get to know what you will be learning in that module and what is the actual hands-on exercise, that you guys will perform in that particular module as well, guys. So, and then after that, we'll be diving right into HTML and understanding HTML, and a deep dive into HTML where we'll be creating and writing our own websites and web pages as well. And after that, we'll be checking into jQuery as well. What is jQuery prototyping, what jQuery versioning, DOM loaded architectures, non-DOM loaded architectures, and so much more. Again, jQuery core, event handling, DOM elements, Ajax, and so much more. And you can also check out all the projects that you guys will be working on as well. And if you're further interested to check out what these videos might look like, guys, we do have sample web development videos here, so make sure you click on that and you will be taken to the page where you can view our sample content which is provided in the course, guys. So as I've told you, this is what Intellipaat's certification will look like. And then this will basically give you recognition in top MNCs like Ericsson, Cisco, Cognizant, Sony, Wipro, Standard Chartered, TCS, Genpact, Tata Communications, and so much more. And then if you guys want to read reviews about the courses as well, then pretty much you can go about checking all of the reviews that our customers leave for us. And then I am sure that you might have more questions than that as well. So we have an entire FAQ section for this as well. So you can pretty much go about reading the entire FAQ section, and if you have any more questions, you can always call us, guys. I'll just give you details in the moment, but then I have to bring you to our surprise because you guys stay till the end of the video. And thank you so much for sticking around the video. So if you guys are interested in the course, here is the coupon code for my dear viewers of this particular video. You can go about using YouTube 30 and you can get a flat 30% off across the spectrum of courses that Intellipaat provides, guys. So again, as I was telling telling you about the FAQs. In case if you have any more questions, you have any suggestions, any comments, or you require any help in picking up a course, make sure to call us on the given numbers on your screen. We have the Indian numbers and we have the toll-free US numbers as well. And you can shoot us a mail, sales@intellipaat.com as well, if you have any more queries. And then you should know that we have a very good support team standing by here 24/7, 365 days of the year to cater to the learners, and we have our course advisors standing by alongside them as well, so they can pretty much help you to get you started on your dream course, on your course which is tailor made for you. And then you can go about learning the same, mastering the same, and being certified in a technological platform as well, guys. So this brings us to the end of this video, and I hope you guys took away a lot from this video. So if you have any questions, any comments, make sure you head to the comment section and do let us know. And if you have any video requests, any future content requests as well, and again, as always, we'll be accepting that as well, guys. So I hope you guys have a nice day ahead. See you on the next one.